Welcome to Freed on Business. He grew up in South Florida, has been in business here since the early 90s, and has closed over $3 billion in deals. He's seen it all. He always has an opinion, and he's always ready to share it. Informed, entertaining, and connected, he has his finger on the pulse of South Florida's business community. He's Jim Freed, and this is Freed on Business.
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Freed on Business. We're at episode 845. We're going to have personal branding and messaging guru Bruce Turkel on. Always love having Bruce. He always has great tips for marketing, branding, always the latest stuff. So we're going to talk to Bruce. I want to welcome everybody back. And we're going to remind everybody that we're streaming on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Instagram. Look for us at Freed on Business or at Jim Freed, wherever you consume your audio. And again, like I said, we're talking with marketing guru Bruce Turkel. And Bruce, welcome back. I know that you love helping people market themselves and doing, helping them build their personal brand. So welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Jim. It's good to be here.
Always great to have you, Bruce. Now, personally speaking, I put out messages to all kinds of different consumers of my content. A lot of them do different things, everything from the energy sector to family offices to legacy real estate to new real estate people. And one time I asked you, I said, Bruce, how do I monetize my podcast? People get paid for clicks. And you had a great response that resonates to this day and actually is very on point for what happened with the last show, which is, Jim, how many deals have you gotten off your podcast? And the answer is, I got a call last week from a gentleman I closed a deal with 15 years ago. He said, can I help him on his new deal in Palm Beach County? So I may not monetize clicks, but I seem to have a good message that resonates with my audience. There's your takeoff point. Bruce, how do people manage the clarity of their message and get responses?
Well, it's interesting you say that about monetizing your show because, I send a blog out every single week. I've been doing it since 2007, never missed a week. So however many years that is times 52. And someone asked me once how I monetize it. Why don't I charge for it? Why don't I just charge $1 a piece? I have 20,000 people I send it to. That'd be 20,000 if they all signed up, of course. I didn't do any of that because the truth of it is I monetize it by the things it makes happen, by the opportunities it creates. I get speaking opportunities. I get consulting opportunities. People call and say, hey, I'm working on this or I'm working on that. So the effort that I put out is directly related to what happens afterwards. But that blog or your podcast is just a tool. And the mistake people make is they say, you know what, I want to do a blog or I want to have a podcast, which is fine. You could want that and you can do it. But that's like saying I want to have a toolbox. I want to own a tool. If I was working on one of my cars and you came over, Jim, and I was like head down inside the hood of the car fiddling with the engine and you told me you were there, I couldn't see you because I'm stuck in the engine. And I said, hey, Jim, do me a favor, hand me a tool. What would you hand me? You don't know what to give me because you don't know what I'm doing. And then if I said, okay, good point, give me a pliers. Do you want a needle nose pliers? Do you want an adjustable pliers? Do you want a channel lock? Do you want there's lots of different kind of pliers. And then I tell you, and then you say, oh, okay, but what size? Do you want a little bitty one? Do you want a big one? Do you want it to be metric? Do you want it to be American? And I can keep going on with this metaphor, but the idea is that the tool itself is not what you need. It's what is it you're trying to accomplish? What do you want? And if you know what you want, then you can figure out, like, I need to cut this wire. Oh, so you need a pliers that has a sharp edge, right? And then I need to strip the wire. So you need one that has a stripper. And, oh, by the way, I'm afraid I'm going to get a shock. Well, then you need one that's insulated, that's rubber. All those things. Without that information, you can't give me what I want, even though I think I told you because I said, hand me a tool. That's a very long way, I know, of explaining that it's not a matter of understanding what it is you're using, whether it's marketing or advertising or blogs or podcasts or skywriting or whatever, but it's understanding what you want.
That's great advice. And while I do project a lot of different messages, it's because I'm an entrepreneur in many different silos. I've gotten feedback on my energy business from people who've told my partners, we watched Jim talk about green energy and he gave great information. It really helped us understand what you do. Then on another podcast, I talk about real estate financing market, and it prompts calls from people in the real estate financing market. I do a lot of business in the family office world, and so I create this content for the family office world. All of these different silos that I create content for help me reach different people. And I'm not bombarding each person with just one silo of information, but I am creating a level of perceived expertise across many businesses. And the most recent business opportunity I've had is in receivership business, which is something that I've been doing since the early 1990s. And I just recently got a call from that. So I keep in touch with people. I say, hi, I'm Jim Fried. I'm an expert in business. How can we do business together? Here are some of my expertise.
Yes, and I would suggest that all of those things, whether it's real estate or energy or lending or all the different things you're involved in, are the tools. They're both the tools for you to accomplish what you want, and if someone's going to buy them from you, they're the tools to help them accomplish whatever they want. But you're still a step removed from the very simple question of what do you want? Now, here's the fascinating thing. You are not alone in not having a quick, succinct answer. I'm going to do a little experiment with everybody who's tuning in to us. They don't have to say this out loud because this is just for their own understanding. You don't have to say it out loud either, but I just want you to think it. In fact, what I'd really like you to do is to write it down so then you can't kid yourself yet later that your answer was more in line with what I suggested. Good. So if I say, I want you to answer this question in 1, 2, or 3 words, and the question is quite simply, what do I want? I want you to write down 1, 2, or 3 words. The fewer words, the better. I will tell you that I have asked this question directly of over 1,000 people. I've also asked it to, God knows how many from all these, podcasts, television appearances and things I've done. But when I wrote my last book, it was part of the research. And I actually asked people, what do you want? And if you've written it down by now, I am willing to bet you that your answer fits into one of 3 silos. Now, they're synonyms. I may say one word, you may have another word, but if you're honest, you'll realize they mean exactly the same thing. Okay. Silo number 1. What do you want? I want to be rich. Some people say I want to be rich. Some people say I want money. Some people say I want to buy that house on the hill. I want to have my own airplane, whatever. But we all know that answer is financially motivated. I want money. That's number 1. Number 2 is, what do you want? I want to be happy. You might have written content. You might have written, there's lots of different ways to say it, but we know that at the end of the day, they're all synonyms for I want to be happy. And number 3 tends to be, if I say, what do you want? People say, I want purpose. I want fulfillment. I want to know my reason for being here. Your answer could be spiritual, it could be religious, it could be a lot of different things, but they're all synonymous with I want purpose and fulfillment. Those are the only 3 things that anyone has ever said to me. And I'm willing to bet, Jim, that yours is in one of those categories. And I'm willing to bet that everybody tuning in is within those 3 categories. But do you know what the problem with that is?
It's all about me.
Well, it is all about you, but in this case, that's fair because that's what I asked. What do you want? I didn't say, how do you get it? I said, what do you want? What's the problem with that? Dead air's not good on a show, Jim. Come on, you got to fill the air.
I'm really not sure. I could give you my answer.
No, don't tell me your answer. I want you to keep that private. But did it fit one of those three categories?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. So if I say, what's the problem with it? Quite simply, those three categories don't really mean anything because they're totally subjective. If your answer is category number one, I want to be rich, I want to be successful, I want to have money, that's a very squishy answer. To some people, being rich means a 100-foot yacht at their disposal and an airplane that they can get in whenever they want and fly wherever they want. To some people, being rich means paying off their school loans and being able to buy a house. To some people, being rich means being able to pay their rent, get their kids medicine, and make sure there's food on the table. There's no answer to what rich is. In fact, the richest people are the people who can say, I have enough. So saying, I want to be rich, you already are rich compared to 99% of the people who've ever been on this planet. So that doesn't take you anywhere. I want to be happy. Squishy again. What does that mean? Do you want to be laughing all the time? Do you want to be content? If you want to be laughing all the time, I imagine you could go to an opium den and you lay on one of those bunks and they keep feeding you opium or smoking opium or however you take it, and you'll be happy until you die. But being happy does not actually mean anything. You have to go much deeper than that. And the third one, same thing. I want to be fulfilled. I want purpose. Okay. Is that a religious purpose? You believe in a religious dogma that you want to fulfill? Fine. Or is it spiritual? You have a spiritual belief? Or is it familial? Or is it career? Maybe you're a physician or a nurse practitioner and you took the oath and you want to help people. I don't question which of it is right for you, but the idea is I want purpose. Doesn't really tell you. Mark Twain said the two most important days of your life are the day you're born and the day you figure out why. The first one, well, that's obvious. We know when that is. Second one, you're probably never going to figure it out. But once again, it means very different things to very different people. So just having that answer, hey, what do I want? I want to be rich, or I want to be successful. I want to make this deal. I want to buy that Ferrari. I want to meet that girl. I want to meet that guy. I want to get married. I want to be happy. Those don't mean very much. What you got to do is keep peeling the onion backwards and until you get to the core, and you do it by acting like a 2-year-old. Anything you say, I want to be rich, there's a one-word next step. Why? Oh, because I've always wanted, or my parents were poor when I was growing up, or I've always felt insecure, whatever it is. Why? Oh, why? And you just act like a 2-year-old. Why? And if you're honest with yourself, which is why I didn't want you to share this with anybody, but if you're honest with yourself at the end of the day, or the end of the week, or the month, or however long it takes you, you will figure out what you want. And once you know that, then you can figure out what the tools are. By the way, this works personally, but it also works in a relationship. It also works for business. It also works in politics. Figure out what you want. Be sure of it. Test it. Understand it. And then you can go after it successfully.
Bruce, that was tremendous. We're going to take a quick break for our friends at Warren Henry. We'll be right back with Bruce. Bruce, you can stick with us, can't you?
I'll be here.
Okay, great. Miami Podcast Studios. Let's take it away. Let's talk about our good friends at Warren Henry. It's time to talk about our friends at Warren Henry. When you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you check out our friends at Warren Henry. Land Rover, Range Rover, Lincoln, Jaguar, they're up at their store at 151st and Biscayne. Down in South Dade, they've got an award-winning Land Rover, Range Rover store. They've also got an award-winning Land Rover, Range Rover store in West Broward. Up in Gainesville, they sell Audis, and of course their storing the keys. Well, they sell all their great nameplates. What do all these cars have in common? Well, they're all great cars, and they all come with the Warren Henry Advantage. I recently, in fact, today, experienced the Warren Henry Advantage. Sean, one of their technicians, came down here, helped me reprogram the computer on wheels that is my Lincoln Navigator that I just got from Warren Henry. Got a great price on my trade-in, got a great price on the new lease that I had. And now I get incredible positive service, always making me feel like a member of the Warren Henry family. So join me, my mom, my beautiful wife, Vivian, lots of my clients and friends. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be too. Always the best price, always the best service, always Warren Henry.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
All right, everybody, we're back. I want to remind everybody, reach out to me at all my different, at my phone, on my phone, email me. Here I help family offices, businesses, all kinds of people in real estate and private equity build their businesses, solve their business problems. Whenever you call me, it's always all about you. Reach out to me, Jim Freed, founder of Sandstone Realty Advisors. We've been in business for well over 30 years, helping other people in a cost-effective manner. And now back to our show with Bruce Turkel. We're going to get to the bottom line, Bruce. Thank you for hanging on here. Now, we've been talking about what do I want? And this is a really good question to ask, and then keep asking why. And so I came up with my personal answer, and then you gave a whole bunch of great rejoinders to what somebody should ask, but it should always be, why do you want this? Why do you want this? Bruce, does anybody really ever get there and figure out what it is they want?
Sure. As I said, the people who really get it right are the ones who figure out that they already have it, the ones who say, I have enough. But that doesn't mean that someone who hasn't gotten there yet won't figure it out. It just takes work. It takes inner vision. It takes self-reflection. And it takes a willingness to be honest with yourself and really understand who you are, why you matter, and what it is you're trying to accomplish.
So, I guess the bottom line for me and what we're discussing really was something that you shared with me probably almost a decade ago when you asked me, what's my personal brand? I said, Jim Freed. You said, that's your name. I said, Freed on Business. You said, that's your podcast.
I remember that. You were a little annoyed at me at the time, as I recall.
I was getting ready to throw a scone at you, I believe is where we were at. And I really couldn't figure it out, but you helped me get there. And I think it really ties into what we're talking about today. When you said my personal brand is that I feel great whenever I help people accomplish their personal and business goals. And, I've kept that with me all this time. Recently won an award for one of the churches in Coconut Grove for community involvement. I mentor a lot of young people. I solve real estate financing problems for a lot of my clients. In private equity, I built a business for a family office. And now the phone was popping earlier because I'm getting involved in more in the legal system, helping people solve their lawsuits as an expert witness and as a receiver. So, it all has that common theme. And I think that the most important thing that you said, as far as what do I want, I think that you're absolutely right, is it all starts with recognizing you've already got a lot. No matter what, we all have a lot. As you said in your comment, we're already better off than 99% of the people in human history or more. And I'm a blessed person. I've got many blessings in my life, from a financial standpoint, from a health and wellness standpoint, from an emotional happiness standpoint. But all of that drives from the fact of knowing how lucky I am and what I've got. So I really do appreciate your focus on that. You get the last word, Bruce.
So it's quite simple. People say somebody lives like a king. We really haven't had kings for a couple hundred years. Think about what living like a king meant. You live a lot better than a king. The only thing a king could do in France and England, wherever, that you can't do is legally put someone to death, which I don't know about you, but I'm not really that interested in doing that to anybody. But other than that, they didn't have hot and cold running water. They didn't have air conditioning. They didn't have 3 healthy, nutritious meals a day. They didn't have so many of the things that we have that we take for granted. We start from that place. We actually have the luxury of focusing on what we want. Other people didn't have that luxury in history. They focused on how do we get fed? How do we keep the Visigoths or the Mongols from, burning down our village? How do we keep the saber-toothed tigers from tearing us up? It used to be, not even 100 years ago, that you got a toothache and it got infected, you died. You cut yourself and it got infected, you died. I mean, today we don't even think about those things. Think about the surgeries you've had or whatever. So we start at such a high level of satisfaction that we take for granted that it's really not surprising that we have a hard time figuring out the rest. But if you start from that all those things are pretty much taken care of, and then work from there, you'll realize that what you want is very narrow. It's not that much. And once you figure out what it is, man, almost anyone's smart enough to go out and get it, unless you have some major disability, financial, emotional, physical, whatever.
Now, Bruce, let's say I want to get your podcast or your newsletter. How do I do that?
It's quite simple. My website is my name. It's bruceturkel.com. Go there, click on blog. You can sign up. You can send me an email. My email address is bruce@bruceturkel.com, and I'll sign you up. Everything, whether it's on social media or the web, is simply my name, Bruce Turkel.
Bruce, I want to thank you so much for helping me understand what I've got in my toolkit and what I'm looking to do with my toolkit, and always being a person there to help me sharpen what I'm doing and being part of my kitchen cabinet, if you will. I can't thank you enough for always being there whenever I need you. Bruce Turkel, personal branding guru, and now today, personal self-actualization guru. Thank you so very much, Bruce. I can't tell you how much you mean to me.
It's my pleasure. Thank you, Jim. Thank you for inviting me. I love being on your show.
Thank you. Please stick with us in the green room for just a second, Bruce, okay? I want to remind everybody that if you missed any part of today's show or any of our other podcasts, you can look for the replay on any of my socials, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitch, or Instagram, @JimFried or @FriedOnBusiness. Head over to the @JimFried YouTube page, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you listen to the audio. Check out all of our past episodes. I want to thank our friends at Warren Henry for always treating my family with kindness and respect and making us part of the Warren Henry family. I want to thank our friends at the University of Florida Bergstrom Center for Real Estate Studies. They've got their Trends and Strategies conference coming up early next year. You can go to the link below and sign up for that. I'll be there, as well as many people that are moving and shaping the real estate industry here in the state of Florida and actually nationally and worldwide. And I want to remind everybody, and boy, does Bruce epitomize this: the person who wants to do something finds a way, the other finds an excuse. Now, go out there and make it happen. Thank you for spending your valuable time with Bruce Turkel and me, Jim Fried. And I want to say to everybody, God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. Miami Podcast Studios, the rest of the show is yours. Do your magic.